Yes, hi everyone. So, till now we have studied about the deadlock basics. What is deadlock? Okay. So, deadlock is what? When two or more than two process are waiting on some event to happen but it never happens. That is simply called as the deadlock. Okay, in that we study how the process is denoted. It is denoted in circle and we can write P1, and let's suppose you have to denote resource. How we are going to denote? It will be in the rectangle and resource. Okay, R1 or R2, whatever you want. So this is the way how we show process and resource. And let's suppose R1 is having more than one instance. Then what we will do? We will simply write R1 and then dot. It means one instance of R1. It means two instance of R1. Got it? Then we have mm, yeah, requesting. When we say a process is requesting the resource, that is requesting. There is one process and it wants the access of resource R1. This means process P1 wants one instance of R1. Got it? And let's suppose I write like this. What it means? It means process P1 wants, yeah, process P1 is requesting for the two instances of resource R1. Got it? Now other one is allocation. Allocation is simply what? Process P1 is there and resource R1 is allocated to P1. This is how we show allocation. Got it? Hope you got everything. Let me remove some things. Okay. So the resource request and resource allocation can be shown by the help of sorry can be shown by the help of RAG, that is simply resource request graph. Okay, RAG, that is resource allocation graph. Okay, now let's suppose we have to find out whether there is deadlock or not. How we will do? Let's see one example. Let's suppose it is given R1 and process P1 is allocated with resource R1, and then there is resource R2, there is process P2. So R1 is allocated to P1 and P2 is requesting R1. Okay, this is allocated, this is requesting, this is allocated. Let's say R2 is allocated to P2 and P1 is requesting for R2. Got it? Now we have observed this graph earlier also. This is called as the deadlock. Why? See, P1 is requesting for R2 and it is holding R1, whereas P2 is requesting for R1 and is holding R2, but they will never be completed. Got it? because all the four conditions are simultaneously existing here: mutual exclusion, and then hold and wait, circular wait, and no preemption. If preemption is not allowed, you can't complete any of the process because one is holding, one is requesting, and it is holding the same process, other one is requesting. So that is why there is a deadlock. It can't be solved. Got it? Let's see one more example. Let's suppose there is resource R1 and there is resource R2. Okay. Now, P1 is also there and P2 is also there. P1, okay. Let's suppose same graph. Okay. Now, let's say P3 is another process which is being allocated to R1. R1 instance of R1 is also with P3. I have already told you there can be many instances of the resource. So one instance of R1 is with P1 and one instance of R1 is with P3, and P2 is requesting one instance of resource R1, but it is holding by someone else. Okay. Now let's suppose there is P4 also, and it is also allocated one instance of resource R2. Can you guess if there is any deadlock or not? Deadlock or not? See, if you deeply observe, you will look here that R1 resource is allocated to P1 and P2 is requesting for R2, which is already 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 available with P2. That is why they can't be done. But if you observe, P3 does not require anything else, and P3 is simply holding R1. It will get executed because it is not in the waiting state, it is in the execution. Why? Because it is not requesting to any resource. The thing or the resources which P3 required, it is already having. It required only one instance of R1 which is already having with P3. So P3 will be executed, and one instance of resource R1 will become free, and that will be given to P2. Once P2 got the resource R1, it was already having R2. It will be also executed. Then R2 will become free. P4 will be executed, and then P1. Got it? So it means there is no deadlock. I think hope you understood how we did it. Now let's do one question. It will become more clear how the questions arises from the deadlock portion. Always, most of the time, numerical come from this part. Let's suppose write down the question. Okay. Pen. Select the pen color. Okay. Consider a system which has n process and 6 resources. Okay, n process and 6 resources. Now each process requires 2 resources to complete their execution. Then what is the maximum value of n which ensures deadlock free operation. What it is saying, there are n process and each process requires two resources for successful completion. Okay, and actually they are having total six resources. Then it is asking, what it is asking, what is the maximum value of n so that deadlock doesn't occur? Have you got the question? See what they are trying to say. Let us assume hmm, I have two process, okay, and we have six resources. So P1 will be requiring two resources. I'll be giving from 6 to 2 P1. Remaining will be 4. Then P2 will be requiring 2. I'll be giving him 2 remaining resources 2, and all the process got executed successfully. But it is not asking that what can be the value of n. It is asking what will be the maximum value of n which can be taken. Got it? How the question is framed? So let's see how to do. What is okay? Now let's say I take P1, P2, P3. Total resources are 6. It required 2. It required 2. It required 2. I gave all 3. All 3 went on to complete the execution, n equal to 3 became here. Is this the maximum value which I can give? Let us try with 4. P1, P2, P3, P4. I can give 2 here. Total is 6. I have given 2 here. Remaining are 4. Let us give 2 here also. It becomes 2, 1, 1. Actually, when P1 will be completed, it will free 2 resources, and from then it can get 1, it can get also 1. So it again becomes deadlock free operation. So this is how we actually we have to calculate the maximum value. So we don't know still what will be the maximum value. So the basic idea is what you have to do in this. What are the resources available? Resources available are 6. So just take 5 process P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. Just assign 1 resources 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Total how many resources you have allocated? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many were total? 6. You have allocated 5 them. It becomes 1. 1 is remaining to you. Any one of the process can be given 1. Whenever it gets 1, it will be executed successfully, and when it's executed successfully, it will release all the resources. It will release 2. Then you can give 1 here, 1 here. Again it will become free. It will become free. It can give 1 here, 1 here. That is why now the condition is, so it becomes a deadlock free operation. Let's check, can it be possible for 6 process P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have allocated 1 resources to each of them. Now I am remaining with 0 resources because 6 was total and I have given 1. And but each of the process required 2 process at least for the successful execution. No one will get executed and the system will get into the deadlock. Got it? So this is how we solve the deadlock questions. Next video we will be studying about the Banker's algorithm, that is for the deadlock avoidance. Okay, Thank you all. Hope you enjoyed the session.